1 minute ago, your body sent you a warning and you missed it. Not because you weren't paying attention, but because this warning doesn't look like what you think it does. It doesn't announce itself with pain. It doesn't arrive with a doctor's call. It whispers quietly, constantly, every single day, and most people, even healthy people, are ignoring it right now. What if I told you that your body has been trying to communicate with you for weeks, maybe months? And the signal it's sending is so subtle, so easy to dismiss, that by the time most people finally listen, it's already too late. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what your body is warning you about, what those signs mean, and what you can do starting right now to change the outcome. My name is Dr. Fiona Godley, and this may be the most important video you watch this year. Here's something most people don't want to hear. The leading cause of serious illness in adults today is not a sudden event. It's not a dramatic heart attack that comes out of nowhere. It's not a tumor that appears overnight. It's a slow, invisible process that has been quietly building inside your body for years. The terrifying truth is this: most chronic diseases, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, liver failure, brain deterioration, begin silently. They begin with tiny, overlooked signals your body sends not once, not twice, but repeatedly, desperate for your attention. The problem is, we live in a world that trains us to push through, to ignore fatigue, to chalk up brain fog to stress, to dismiss that strange bloating as just something I ate. But what if that fatigue wasn't stress? What if that brain fog was your body screaming that something deeper is wrong? What if your body sent a warning 1 minute ago and you just didn't recognize it? Let me walk you through the 7 warning signs your body is sending right now that most people brush off as nothing. This is not normal tiredness. This is waking up after 8 hours of sleep and still feeling exhausted. This is the kind of fatigue that follows you through the afternoon, no matter how much coffee you drink. When sleep doesn't restore your energy, your body is telling you something is taxing it from the inside. Chronic bloating, especially after meals, is not just a digestive inconvenience. It is one of the clearest signals that your gut microbiome is imbalanced, and an imbalanced gut does not just affect digestion. It affects your immune system, your mood, your hormones, and even your cognitive function. This one surprises people in traditional medicine. Waking at specific hours of the night correlates with organ activity cycles. Waking between 2 and a.m. consistently can signal that your liver is under stress. Your liver does its deepest detox work in the early morning hours. When it's struggling, that process can disrupt your sleep architecture. Facial puffiness upon waking, especially around the eyes, is often a sign of lymphatic congestion, high cortisol, or early kidney stress. Most people assume it's just sleeping on their face, but if it happens regularly, your body is sending a signal. When was the last time you felt genuinely calm and even tempered without effort? Unexplained irritability, anxiety, or emotional flatness are deeply connected to gut health, hormonal balance, and chronic low-grade inflammation. Your brain and your gut communicate through a direct biological highway called the vagus nerve. When one is unhealthy, the other suffers. If you're eating well, moving your body, and the scale refuses to move or keeps climbing, your body is not broken. It's inflamed. Hormonal imbalance, thyroid disruption, insulin resistance, and chronic stress are all silent drivers of stubborn weight. Forgetting words mid-sentence, walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling to concentrate on simple tasks. These are not normal signs of aging at any age. They are neurological distress signals. So what is actually happening inside your body when these signs appear? Let me explain this in a way your doctor may not have had time to. At the center of almost every one of these warning signs is one common thread. Now, inflammation itself is not the enemy. Acute inflammation is one of your body's most powerful healing tools. But chronic, low-grade inflammation is different. It is like a fire that never fully goes out, burning silently through your tissues, quietly, damaging your organs, slowly degrading your cells. And here is what makes it so dangerous. You cannot feel it directly. You cannot see it, but you can see its downstream effects. And those effects are exactly the warning signs we just discussed. Scientists now understand that chronic inflammation is the root driver behind heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune conditions, even certain forms of cancer. A landmark study published in Nature Reviews found that inflammatory markers are elevated years before disease diagnosis. Your body is not silent before disease arrives. It is communicating through these exact warning signs, and the most powerful thing you can do is learn to listen. But chronic inflammation doesn't come from nowhere. It has specific, identifiable drivers. And once you understand those drivers, you have the power to reverse course. First, an ultra-processed food diet, refined sugars, industrial seed oils, artificial additives trigger inflammation. Second, poor sleep quality. During deep sleep, your brain undergoes a literal cleansing process. The glymphatic system activates, flushing metabolic waste from brain tissue. Disrupted sleep means this process is interrupted. Third, chronic psychological stress. When you are in a prolonged stress state, your body floods with cortisol. Short-term, cortisol is protective. Long-term, it is deeply inflammatory. Fourth, sedentary behavior. Regular movement is not just about fitness. It is a critical anti-inflammatory mechanism. Even 20 minutes of moderate movement daily can reduce inflammatory markers. Fifth, environmental toxins, heavy metals, pesticides, plastics, and pollutants trigger persistent inflammation. Now let's go deeper, because understanding the warning is only half the story. Understanding what's happening in your body at the organ level gives you the real power to act. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Your intestinal lining is just one cell thick. One cell, when that lining is damaged, it becomes permeable. The medical community calls this increased intestinal permeability, but you may have heard it called leaky gut. When your gut lining breaks down, particles and toxins can pass into your bloodstream. Your immune system sees these particles and launches an attack. That immune response is inflammation, and it doesn't stay in the gut. It travels to your brain, to your joints, to your liver, to your heart. This was understood thousands of years ago, and modern medicine is now proving it with precision. Your liver performs over 500 biological functions daily. It filters your blood, it metabolizes hormones, it produces bile for digestion, it breaks down toxins, and it does all of this without complaint until it can't. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease now affects approximately 25% of the global adult population. Most of those people have no idea because in the early stages, fatty liver disease causes no pain, but it does cause fatigue, it causes brain fog, it disrupts hormone metabolism, and over time it can progress silently to more serious stages. The warning signs are there. Most people just don't connect the dots. Your brain is the most metabolically demanding organ in your body. It consumes 20% of your total energy, and it is exquisitely sensitive to inflammation, blood sugar fluctuation, hormonal imbalance, and sleep disruption. What we now call brain fog is not a personality trait. It is not laziness. It is a measurable state of neuroinflammation. And the research on this is alarming. People with persistent brain fog show measurable changes in inflammatory markers. Your brain is sending a warning. Let's be direct about the risks of ignoring these warning signs, because the stakes are not small. If chronic inflammation goes unaddressed for years, the consequences are severe. Cardiovascular disease remains the #1 cause of death globally. The majority of heart attacks and strokes occur in people who had warning signs years before the event. Type 2 diabetes is now diagnosed in younger and younger people. The precursor state, insulin resistance, can exist silently for years. Neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's begin decades before symptoms appear. Researchers call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because insulin resistance in the brain is a central mechanism. Early brain fog is not normal. Early memory lapses are not normal. They are early warning signals. Autoimmune conditions often begin with years of nonspecific symptoms. Fatigue, joint aches, digestive issues, mood instability. These symptoms are often dismissed or medicated without addressing the root cause. Here is the part that changes everything. The same science that reveals how damage occurs also reveals how to reverse it. The most powerful medicine available to you is not in a pharmacy. It is in your daily choices. Remove the primary gut disruptors, refined sugar, ultra-processed foods, industrial seed oils, excessive alcohol. These are directly damaging your intestinal lining. Replace them with foods that actively heal. Fermented foods deliver beneficial bacteria directly to your gut. Yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. Prebiotic foods feed and sustain beneficial bacteria. Garlic, onion, leeks, asparagus, bananas. Bone broth supports intestinal lining integrity. Polyphenol-rich foods reduce inflammation and improve microbial diversity. Berries, dark chocolate, green tea, olive oil. The Mediterranean dietary pattern is the most evidence-supported anti-inflammatory diet. It emphasizes extra virgin olive oil as the primary fat, abundant vegetables and legumes, regular fatty fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, moderate whole grains, limited red meat and processed foods. Studies consistently show benefits for heart health, brain health, metabolic health. Sleep is not passive recovery. It is active biological restoration. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Establish a consistent sleep and wake time. Even on weekends, eliminate blue light exposure before bed. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Consider magnesium glycinate to support sleep quality. Research suggests it may help reduce nighttime cortisol.